Support from Piping Productions and Blue Eye Media.
So let me tell you this. Last week, I ordered my medications, and I have about four or five medications that I order every 3 months. And I was paying approximately $150 every 3 months for my medications. Last week when I ordered, I paid zero. My bill is
What health care are you on?
I don't pay.
What's your health care?
Beg pardon?
What's your health care?
Huh?
What health care?
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the same health care that.
Okay, I'm asking you, what is it? Can you tell me what it is?
Medicare. I have Medicare.
You don't have
and
Medicaid?
I have, No, I don't have Medicaid. No.
Okay, so you're on Medicare. Which drug were you talking about specifically?
It's a lot of different drugs.
Okay, well, we have to be specific because you're claiming.
Is that
hold on a second. Let's be specific. Let's talk about this, Herb. Then you can get to your point because you're trying to make the case that drug prices are way down in the United States of America. By the way, it's not true. That might be your personal case, but as a whole, that's not true. Tell me what specific drugs went from $150 to zero, and then we can look into it because I want to make sure you're telling the truth. So tell me just tell me, what drugs are you on?
Listen to me. First of all,
I'm listening.
I don't have to tell you which specific
Okay, so
drugs
you're just
I'm
going to
on.
say you're just going to say it, but don't
Let me put it like this. One of the drugs that I take, one of the drugs,
cocaine,
is Mounjaro. You know, the diabetic medication. You take once
insulin. Insulin's a diabetic medication. Type 1. Are you talking type 1 or type 2?
Type 2.
Okay,
type
so
2.
okay, so
it's
you
called
take
Mounjaro.
Okay,
Mounjaro is called.
Okay, so we'll look that up.
I didn't pay anything for that.
So we'll look that up. So if I looked it up, hold on, Herb. Hang on a second. Just relax for a minute. Mounjaro. Okay, so here's what we're going to do, Herb, and we'll get this information, and then I'll talk about it on the air tomorrow. You're claiming that in the last 6 months, since Donald Trump took office, diabetic insulin, or in this case, not insulin, Mounjaro for type 2 diabetics, has gone from a certain price that you were paying to zero. Is that what you're claiming, Herb?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, so if I look that up and if it's wrong, what you are saying, will you admit that you were wrong tomorrow?
How can it be wrong? I'm telling
because
you
you're
wrong.
Wrong. Because you're wrong about everything else. That's why, Herb, and I don't believe you.
Oh, Brian.
Yeah. So, Herb, let's talk about insulin. Herb, let's talk about insulin. Herb, you're a diabetic, right? You're a type 2. Do I have that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so Herb, if you're a type 1 diabetic, and I do understand that some type 2 diabetics do have to take insulin, not all. Some could get away with pills and medication like you, and some have to take insulin. Can we agree with that so far?
Yep.
Okay,
yep.
Good. Okay. Would you agree with me, Herb, that under Joe Biden, millions of more Americans were able to get their insulin capped at $35? Is that a fair statement, Herb?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You
don't know. Of course, you don't know. Okay, so Herb, I'm going to give you some information. Okay, you're giving me yours, your personal. I'm giving you in general terms. Donald Trump started capping insulin, but the problem was he wouldn't allow it under Plan B and Plan D of your medical coverage. Joe Biden changed that and gave millions of more Americans under his presidency access to insulin capped at $35. Day one of Donald Trump's administration this time around, he signed an executive order going back to the days when he was president. What happened because of that, Herb? Millions of people now do not get their insulin capped at $35. So, Herb, let's just say for a moment, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. You call into the show, let's just say good faith, and in your situation, your Mounjaro and some of your other medications went from $150 to zero. I think that's great. I'm happy to hear that, Herb. But that's not the case with every diabetic, and that's not the case with every American. Are you able to understand that your personal situation is not necessarily what the majority of Americans are going through today? Herb.
I couldn't say if it was or if it wasn't. I do know that my brother, who was a type 2 diabetic also, longer than I've been, he was taking insulin shots.
Mm-hmm.
And his price of insulin never went down.
Okay, well, Herb, guess what? I'm a juvenile diabetic. I'm type 1. I've had it since I was 6 years old. My insulin has not gone down. So, Herb, here's my issue with your argument. And I'm trying to be respectful. Herb, just hang on. Herb, just hang on 1 second. Let me make my point, and then I will allow you to respond.
You want to make it an argument.
Herb, if you can just listen for 20 seconds, and then I will let you respond. My argument is this with many MAGA supporters. They only see life through their lens. For example, you just said that your prices went from $150 to zero. I don't know whether you're telling the truth or not. Let's just say you are. I asked you, Herb, would you hold on, Herb, let me finish. You just self-admitted that you're not aware and you don't know that millions of more type 1 diabetics and type 2 do not have their insulin capped at $35. Now, I know that's true because I've actually studied this. You claim to me that you are unaware, that you don't know, but yet you just want to call into this show and give your own personal story, not understanding what everybody else is going through. That is my argument, Herb. People like you that support Donald Trump only see life through your lens, and you don't see it through everybody else's lens, and people that don't are not in the same situation that you're in. So you're unaware that millions of diabetics do not have their insulin capped at $35. You're completely unaware of that. You don't seem to care, but all you care about is Herb's drugs have gone down. That is my argument, Herb. Do you follow me?
Okay, but Brian, didn't you not say when you were talking about that, you wanted somebody to call in on the, or get on the Snapchat and ask and tell you what they were paying for their drugs?
Okay, so first of all, I'm not on Snapchat.
Somebody to do that?
First of all, I'm not on Snapchat. That's what 12-year-olds use.
It was,
and well, okay, I know, but Herb, you don't pay attention to details. So did your drugs go down 1,500%?
They went down to zero, Brian.
Okay. Donald Trump is claiming. Donald Trump is. By the way, Donald Trump is claiming that he is. You don't know. You don't know.
I don't know if that's for everybody. I don't know if it's for me. I don't know why. But I know. I know. The problem, Herb, is you only. One more thing.
One more thing.
The other thing is that if you pay $3.98 for gas in Las Vegas, that's.
What's the average price of gas in Las Vegas, Herb?
I paid $2.98.
What's the average?
$2.98.
Donald Trump said he brought Herb. Donald Trump said he. Herb, you're making my point for me. Herb, you're making my point for me. Donald Trump not only said that your prescription drugs were lowered 1,500%, but he also said gas was down to $1.95. Herb, those are both lies. Thank you for making my point for me. Thank you for making my point for me, Herb. Thank you for making my point for me. The average price of gas, by the way, is over $3 a gallon in Las Vegas, in Nevada. Why are you laughing, Herb? Herb, why are you laughing?
Because once again, Brian,
that's not true? Is that not true? Is that not true, Herb? Herb, what's the average price of gas? Herb, what's the average price of gas in Nevada? Herb, what's the average price of gas in Nevada?
All I'm saying is that if you pay $3.98, you're the dummy, nobody else, because I paid $2.98.
That's the average? Okay, so we're looking at it. Hey, Herb, we're looking at it right now. The average price of gas, Herb, I'm looking at it right now. If our producer could give us the source for it, for regular price of gasoline from AAA, the average price of gas in the state of Nevada is $3.79. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You're wasting our time. And guess what? I don't believe you, and I think you're a liar. I don't believe that all of your drug prices went from $150 to zero. I think you're a liar, and I just proved you wrong. I just gave you the average price of gasoline right now, according to AAA, in the state of Nevada, and they are not under $3 a gallon. You are a liar, you are ill-informed, and you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. You're lying about the cost of your prescription drugs. You don't seem to care that everybody else is paying more, and they're not down 1,500%, and you're lying again and saying, well, I paid $2.98. The average price of gas is close to $4 a gallon in the state of Nevada. You have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, and what I said was accurate, and you are clueless, and I also think you're a liar. I always knew you were a little ignorant, Herb, but I also now believe you're a liar.